From Canada, Citizens Forum, where we look at the important issues of the day through a lens of democracy and media and try to figure out, how do we build a better country for ourselves? Hello, welcome to From Canada, Citizens Forum. It is Monday, October the 13th, 2025. This story is about democracy, Canada's new Democratic Party, and Yves Engler. Canada's new Democratic Party is in the process of choosing a new leader. I think 5 people have so far indicated that they're going to enter the race. 4 of them are more mainstream candidates. The 5th, Mr. Yves Engler, is on the far left of the NDP, but he has a fair bit of support within the party. However, there's a good chance that the leadership of the NDP will not allow him to run for the party leadership. To me, this is a big problem, and it's happening in all of our political parties. The problem is that all of our big political parties seem to have small elitist leadership groups who have far too much power and who feel it is their right to decide who can run for the leadership of their party. And the party leaderships do seem to have the power to choose who can run for the leadership of their party. The leadership gang of the Green Party of Canada routinely kicks out people from their leadership races if the people who run the Green Party, the Green Leadership Gang, don't like them. The Liberal Party of Canada kicked at least 2 people out of the recent race that saw Mark Carney chosen as party leader and appointed as our Prime Minister. This happens all the time, the leadership gang deciding who can run for the party leadership. Now, in my opinion, a political party has every right to protect itself from some complete outsider or some clown who wants to make a mockery of a leadership race by entering it for the wrong reasons. The party has the right to protect themselves from that. But with the current NDP race, Mr. Yves Engler is a serious candidate and is supported by a lot of people who have been in the party for years and decades. It is quite dangerous in a democracy for the leadership gangs who run our parties to be able to decide on their own who can run for the leadership of the party. The leadership groups should not have that power to make these kinds of decisions. It must, as far as possible, be up to the party members to make that decision of who they want for their leader. But increasingly, we see that this is not the case. In my opinion, Yves Engler has every right to run for the leadership of the NDP. He's supported by what's called the Socialist Caucus of the NDP, which is a small group that contains NDP members who have been active in the party for years or decades. And this group should have the right to put up a candidate to challenge for the leadership of their party. It should not be the right of the NDP leadership to remove Mr. Engler from the race. A corrupt removal is exactly what the BC NDP leadership gang did to Anjali Appadurai a couple of years ago. She was removed from the BC NDP leadership race because she, a climate activist, was going to beat David Eby and become Premier of British Columbia. And nobody in Canada's power group wanted that to happen. So the BC NDP party leadership, working together with the corporate media, smeared Ms. Appadurai, called her a cheater, rewrote the rules, and removed her from the leadership race. The people and corporations who really run Canada would not allow a climate activist like Anjali Appadurai to become the premier of a Canadian province. So they labeled her a cheat and they removed her. And I noticed that the NDP, the Canadian NDP, and the media are now doing the same thing. They're suggesting that Mr. Engler is a cheater as well. And if he is a cheater, if he is cheating, then of course he should be removed, as should any of the other leadership candidates if they are cheating. But just because the party elite and the corporate media accuse someone of cheating most certainly does not make it true. Unfortunately, millions of Canadians believe and trust the corporate media, which is a big reason why Canada is in the mess we're in. The corporate media are owned by and work for big business and the 1% and should never be trusted for 1 second without verifying what they are saying. I personally would probably not vote for Mr. Engler if I was still a member of the NDP, but I can't vote because I left the BC NDP in disgust several months ago, precisely because of how undemocratic the party is. But I fully believe it is the right of the party members, not the leadership group, to make the decision of who they want to be their leader. We'll see what happens. Here in Canada, our democracy is already in tatters. The removal of Yves Engler from a leadership race because the corporate-owned media and the political elites don't like him will just be one more step away from democracy and towards turning Canada into the third world country that we are rapidly becoming. So I support Yves Engler's right to run for the NDP leadership, but my prediction is they'll kick him out of the race and the media will barely mention it. And so the vast majority of Canadians will never even know it happened. And the reason they'll kick him out of the race is they don't want his ideas to have a national platform where they can't be ignored, right? They don't want Canadians to hear his ideas. So that probably is what's going to happen. They'll kick him out of the race and it will be covered up and nobody will even know. But really, this is a very important issue and Canadians should be keeping their eye on it. And it's not limited only to the NDP. It's broadly done within all of our parties, unfortunately for us.